What's up guys, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel and happy Artsy Fartsy Friday. Today we are going to be doing another sketchbook update video. This is basically just where I flip through my current sketchbook and show you this sort of stuff I've been working on. This is the first look inside this specific sketchbook because if you watched my last sketchbook update, I had finished another one of these Canson sketchbooks. These are my favorite sketchbooks, by the way. I will link to them down below. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you do purchase anything through that link, I do get a small commission, but it does not affect the cost to the consumer. You notice I decorate all of my sketchbooks with stickers. Some of these stickers are mine or stickers I've bought from other people. This one's from a hamburger place. If you're ever in San Diego, go to Hodad's. Good hamburgers. But this sticker in particular, as well as this one and this one actually, well this one was a pre-order exclusive, but a couple of these stickers are Patreon exclusive and only accessible to my physical reward patrons, so they'll recognize these. In fact, going forward in the month of December and onward, I am only doing stickers on my Patreon for physical rewards, stickers and prints. I was previously doing buttons, but they are so expensive to ship and they basically double or triple the cost of shipping. So stickers it is for the time being, but if you're interested in becoming a physical rewards patron, I will have the link to that down below. Let's get into the sketches. So I started the sketchbook towards the end of August, which was still in the prime of the Zodiac project. So the first sketch in here is of Sagittarius. This was really my first time fleshing her out. I was very seriously contemplating making her a centaur, but I went easy on myself and I decided not to do that. But I had this very clear kind of dominant warrior image for her that I really feel like I captured very well, and I love her design. It's actually one of my favorites. Something a little funky with this arm happening here, but overall I like the pose and I'm very happy with it. Then we have some original character sketches. Here we have my characters Helios and Volana. Plan to see a lot more of these characters in 2019. I do plan to do lots more stuff with them, but I do love drawing them. They're tons of fun. This is Helios again. I have sort of this story developing with them that is still very much in the works, so I don't want to say too much, but I was kind of drawing them a lot more. This was, I feel like I've shown these sketches before. Maybe I've shown them on a live stream, but if you follow me over on Twitch, then you've probably seen most of these before. This is a sketch of, it's supposed to be Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon. It's based off of a fan fiction. If you come to my live streams, you know I do these fan fiction readings of very old cringy fan fiction, and they're a lot of fun. So this was based off of that, and it was a request from the stream to draw this. This is a very, very early look at the Zodiac calendar cover. This was just a very rough sketch, and I was realizing very quickly that I was not going to fit all of the characters in at this size, so I kind of had to adjust things and move them around, but this was basically the concept I ended up going for, with all of the characters kind of staggered across the stairs, the two pillars in the background. So that's where this idea started back in August or early September. Then we have Batgirl based on the Babs Tarr kind of costume design, which I love. More Helios and Volana. I was feeling just like drawing them more, so I'm really happy with the first couple of sketches in this sketchbook because I feel like I captured them very well. Then this is another kind of example of a Zodiac calendar cover background. I wanted to try and include as much scenery as I could, but that ultimately didn't really end up happening because of the limited space due to there being 13 characters. Now we have Sagittarius and Scorpio. This was basically the pose and composition I went for the month of November in the calendar. I stuck with Scorpio's exact pose from this sketch. I did change Sagittarius quite a bit, but originally this was kind of my design. Then I have Naruto and Hinata. This is another sketch based off of the fanfiction readings that I do in my live streams. Again, guys, they're lots of fun. If you don't participate in the Twitch family, you definitely should. I will have that link down below as well. They're tons of fun. It's a super good group that comes consistently and participates in chat, so it's a really good time. But I actually like Naruto's pose here. Pretty happy with that. Then I was wanting to draw Batgirl and Nightwing, kind of going back to my roots, but these are super rough, messy sketches. The proportions are awful, the perspective is awful, but sometimes you just have those days. So yeah, I was trying to draw them more here. I like where I was going with Batgirl's pose. Nightwing was supposed to be more of like an angle kind of foreshortening thing, but it wasn't really working out. So we gave up quickly on this page. This is one of my favorite pages in this sketchbook though, and this is just some very fun, loose portrait practice. And I had a little bit of fun with this Daler-Rowney Inktense pencil, or I'm sorry, Derwent, not Daler-Rowney, Inktense pencil. I would be very interested in picking up more of these because they're water soluble, but then once they dry, they're like really nice, and they're a little bit more intense and pigmented and durable, if I'm not mistaken, than like your typical watercolor pencil. And I really love the result. Yellow is my favorite color, so I have a lot of fun just kind of accenting with that pencil, and I've used it several times now and I enjoy it a lot. Here we have some studies, some hand practice, some mouth practice. These are just two things that I kind of continually struggle with. I have good days and bad days with them, but I'm just not really able to draw them consistently and be happy with them. What I'm finding more now is not so much that I struggle with drawing mouths, but I struggle with the nose to mouth to chin ratio. That is kind of what I've found that I struggle with a lot. Just more kind of face pose practice, making my faces look different. And this is just with the Pentel pocket brush, I think, and then a little bit of ink wash. So pretty fun. I think this might have been getting close to Inktober, and seeing everyone's hype over Inktober was making me really bummed because I wasn't able to participate this year. Here we have some more pose practice, which I like. A couple of these are referenced. I think specifically these 3. I don't think this one is. And that's definitely the weakest of the 4 on this page. But I have this pose book that's all about like superhero poses. It's a really great book. If I can find it, I'll link it down below. It's been really helpful. And so I referenced a couple of poses from there. These are both referenced from there as well. And then this was one of my ideas for the December Zodiac monthly illustration that I ended up not really going in this direction, but originally it was going to be Capricorn and Sagittarius, and they're kind of standing at the base of the stairs, but I sort of changed that around and ended up doing something different. I've been wanting to draw roller derby girls for a long time now. It's kind of this idea floating in the back of my head, and it's going to require a lot of like pose referenced pose practice just to get the movement and kind of the weight and the balance correct, but it's something I want to experiment with and I think would be really fun. Another kind of pose practice that I can kind of always go back to and refine further if I wish. Face studies. A couple of these are really, really rough. I think these are referenced, but it just wasn't really a great day for me. This one is good. This one is okay. And these two are real, real rough. So then I drew Catwoman, because that always makes me feel better. Love me some Catwoman. I think my info or description on Twitter still says I'm secretly Catwoman, which for some reason was like this awesome quote that I thought of from and made on my Twitter like in 2014, and it's still there. This is kind of this random story idea that I had about girls of ice hockey. Ice hockey is one of those weird sports that I actually thoroughly enjoy watching, and it's just a lot of fun, and so I would love to kind of eventually write a story about girls who play ice hockey, because I think that that would just be such a cool story. I know very little about sports, so it would take a lot of research on my part, but yeah, so that's just kind of a very rough look into that. And then I have this, wow, I did a lot of work in this sketchbook in just like a couple of days. I'm remembering this now because if I remember correctly, I drew this like at the very beginning of September, and it was like my ode to fall, where you bring back leggings and flannels and overly sweet coffee drinks. This is posted on my Instagram. If you want to take a closer look at this, feel free to. I think it's pretty good. I like that one a lot. Really awful kind of hockey player sketch, and really awful Naruto Hinata sketch. Not really happy with those pages. Random sketch, not really that happy with this either. I don't know, it's just like everything looks kind of distorted and weird, but not in like an intentional way. So yeah, that was like with some, it looks like some brush pen, Pentel pocket brush pen and ink wash, and then like this Pentel color pen that I don't get very good ink flow with this. I've heard several complaints from people that they don't get very good ink flow with this pen in particular, and I tend to agree. It just isn't really consistent, but that's what that is. And then I have just this random doodle. This was originally the kind of direction I was planning on going with my collab with LJ Art. We did this Halloween collab that was super cool, and it was about witches, and I originally had this idea of doing a very like modern day kind of coven witch. That was kind of where this was going, but I didn't end up doing exactly this. I did sort of a variation on that theme though, so if you haven't seen that collab video, you should definitely check it out. It was a lot of fun to do with her. And then the September Copic colors were interesting. I think they picked like 6 colors, and of those 6 colors I only had 2. But they were this red and this green color that I think go really, really well together, and immediately made me think of like this poison apple kind of theme. So I originally had like this wicked princess thing in mind, and I like this little concept, but I didn't end up fleshing it out completely, and I ended up going with this, which is more of like a sour apple wench kind of look, and I actually really like this. I think the colors go so well together. I like the ink work. Yeah, I'm proud of the sketch. I like it a lot, and it was a lot of fun to do. Then I just have this random doodle, again kind of ink wash and brush pen, because I was like feeling the Inktober bug, and I just wanted to do some ink work. So, and then this is the pose I ended up going for the month of November for Sagittarius. You can tell at this point I was really trying to get ahead on the zodiac project, because we were still in the month of September and I was already thinking about November and December, so it was a little bit crazy. But yeah, if you saw those videos, then you recognize these poses, and this actually ended up being the pose that I picked for the sticker design as well. So things come full circle. This was just like a very rough go at this sketch here. Sometimes I sketch on the right page and then I finish it on the left page. My sketchbooks aren't very in order or organized at all. Then here's the December sketch. I like this one a lot too. I love these two characters, and I think that in my head Capricorn and Sagittarius would get along very, very well, and that they're very alike in a lot of ways. And this was another instance of where I started drawing on the right page. I didn't like how it was turning out, so then I went to the left page. This is more kind of planning for the cover. These blobs, this is an interesting page. I basically made 13 blobs and kind of spaced them out so that I could figure out where each character was going to go, and then kind of fill in that pose accordingly. The way I did it was that I drew almost every pose individually and then pieced it together in Photoshop, and then transferred the sketch and finalized it. So it was a very weird process, but that started on this page where I basically took this pose for Cancer and kept that through to the final piece. But then I drew each pose kind of separately. So I drew Aquarius and Libra, and then I kind of threw them into Photoshop behind Cancer, who was like down here. So I moved this pose down here. I added Aquarius and Libra from this page. I added Virgo kind of up here. And you'll see this all in the cover, kind of how it all came together from just those few sketches. And yeah, so it's a really cool process just to see how I kind of broke that down, because it was quite the endeavor at first, but that's where it all started. Here's just another random sketch. I think it's cute. I like the way it turned out. And then this was going to be my sticker design, or I was actually going to do 2 stickers for the month of October, but I ended up only doing 1, and that was my Wednesday Addams sticker, which I don't think I have. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I have my Wednesday Addams sticker right down here. But originally I was gonna do this pumped pumpkin, but yeah, I didn't end up finishing that one. But yeah, you can see there's the Wednesday Addams sketch, and here's the Wednesday Addams sticker. Yeah, so that was pretty fun. And here's just some more kind of like sticker and button designs I was playing around with. And then here's the sketch that I ended up using for the collab with All J Art. And I really love this. It's kind of like yoga meditation witch who's like accidentally levitating her cat because of how mindful she is, or I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I love this sketch and I thought it came out cute, and I really liked doing that collab with her, so that was a lot of fun. More zodiac poses. This ended up being the pose I used for Taurus. This was supposed to be Sagittarius and Leo, but I kind of ended up changing those around quite a bit. Pisces and Scorpio, the 2 Geminis, Capricorn, and there was Sagittarius, and then Leo and Aries. I love Aries pose. It's so cute. So yeah, those are all the poses for the Zodiac cover, which really took up a good portion of this sketchbook and was why I got so far into this sketchbook so quickly. And then basically after I finished the Zodiac cover, I took like 3 weeks off from drawing, and I didn't really do much because all of these sketches were just from earlier this week, and there was, yeah, so like a lot of time between this page and this page. So yeah, now we're midway through November and I'm just getting back into this sketchbook. But I was thinking about illustrations I wanted to do for the November Copic colors, because I really loved all the colors for the month of November. They were, I think, E37, R37, and G99. They're all very kind of like darker to mid-tone colors, but they go really nicely together. These were the October Copic colors, which were beautiful, but unfortunately I didn't have time to do an illustration for October with these colors, so I may revisit them in the future if I kind of have an idea that fits that color scheme. And then I just have some pen doodles on this page. And then on this page is my November Copic colors illustration, which would be last week's video. If you missed it, you can go check it out. I basically just have some art chats with you guys, and I talk about comparison and kind of the pros and cons of comparing yourself to other artists. And you can see me color this illustration. So yeah, if you want to see that time lapse, definitely check out last week's video. But yeah, I like the way that this came out. I had a little bit of a hard time preserving the lights in the character and kind of having those highlights to really pop out and make the contrast work. It feels very flat, and then the background is so stark white that it just, I like this piece, but to me it just doesn't feel finished. And I wish I could have kind of gone back with a lighter hand to add some highlights in here to make it pop a little bit more. But I like the overall sketch. I think it looks cute. And I was doing a really good job of making sure that this marker didn't bleed through onto the next page. But I think I removed my scrap piece of paper when I went back to do the leaves, and so those bled through. So I may still add something on this page. In fact, I almost certainly will. I just haven't had just like a random sketch to do on here yet. So I skipped it for now. And then these next few pages are some studies that I did using a marker that is not Copic, and I will be doing a review of these markers very soon. You can look out for that on my channel. I have a couple of marker reviews planned for the rest of this year, so keep an eye out for that. But these are just some portraits that I did with those markers. And I used reference for all of these, not because I necessarily wanted to capture likeness or any sort of level of detail, but I did just want kind of a guide to go off of and to focus on limiting my color palettes a little bit. The reference really helped. So this was the first one I did. This was the second one I did, and this is very interesting, and I kind of go back and forth on whether or not I like this or not. yeah, let me know what you think. It's interesting. So yeah, just let me know what your thoughts are on this, because I'm still unsure. The jury is still out for me on this one, but it was fun to experiment with. And then I was messing around with some color palettes that I wanted to use, so that's what this page was. And then I did this last portrait, which kind of reminds me of Raven from Teen Titans. That was accidental. I was using a reference picture, and then I just sort of assigned this color palette to it, and that's sort of just who it ended up looking like. But I like the way that this one turned out. I'm really trying to push myself to do more limited color palettes, because I just think that they look so much better than having like a really jam-packed colorful illustration. It just looks so busy. So trying to limit myself to color palettes here. I used 4 colors for this one, but I think I very easily could have used 3, so, or even 2. Like realistically I could have done it probably with 2. But yeah, so that's just kind of what I've been doing in my sketchbook so far. Definitely keep an eye out, because I have a feeling that the rest of the sketchbook will go pretty quickly as well. So yeah, but the first half of the sketchbook took me about 2.5 months to get through, with, you know, the Zodiac project kind of keeping me pretty occupied during that time. But yeah, if you like sketchbook updates, let me know and I can definitely try and do them more frequently. They definitely seem to be some of my more popular videos, so if you like them, I can do them more. But that's it for me today, guys, so thank you so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate it, and I will see you on the internet. Bye, guys.